Hi guys, welcome to today's video. If this is your first time here, I hope you're here to stay, subscribe, share, comment, leave me your little messages, you know, all that good stuff. Follow me on my other social media, watch my previous videos. So, well, today's video is a full one brand brushes makeup tutorial or something like that. I'm gonna name it something like that, but what I'm doing today is I'm just gonna use one brand of brushes. Today I'm using the BH Cosmetics brushes, and I'm going to create this look I have going on right here for you guys. So yeah, the only exception that I did use was a beauty sponge because I prefer beauty sponges over brushes, but you'll see everything else was done with BH Cosmetics brushes. So you know what to do. So my face is already moisturized, so now I'm gonna prime it using it says Cover FX Mattifying Primer, and I'm only gonna place it on my T-zone because this is where I get the oiliest, so I want this area to stay matte. You just pack it in or pat it in. For foundation today, I'm using the Mary Kay Time Ice foundation. And this is, what shade is this? Beige 5. I hope it's the right shade because it's, I don't even know. I'm gonna apply it with the brush by BH Cosmetics, and this is the 111 brush. Just applying it with the brush, but I'm going to use the Miracle Complexion sponge to blend it out because I just prefer blending my foundation with a sponge than I do a brush. And like always, I like to add my foundation to the center of my face pretty much, and then I just bring it out to the sides as I'm blending. The reason being is because I don't like having foundation around my hairline because it looks weird to me, and I do use a bronzer, so the bronzer covers those spots that I miss with the foundation. So I don't see the purpose of having foundation near my hair. It's just a preference. I'm gonna bring it down the neck a little bit just to make sure it blends out well. For concealer, I'm using the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye, and I'm going to add this into whatever comes out. I'm gonna add it into my dark circle area. Oh my god, really? Oh, here we go. A little bit more. Blend it out. I like to tap it with my fingers, blend it out as much as I can with my finger. Even though this product is not thick, but I like to pat it with my finger before I go in with a sponge. For the highlight, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and I'm just gonna apply this a little bit further down than I did the concealer, the darker concealer. I like to cover my dark circles with a darker concealer, and then I go in with a lighter for that highlight. And the same thing, I blend this out with a sponge. I just find it easiest to use a sponge. Alright, now I have to set the concealer, so I'm going to use the RCMA translucent powder, and I'm going to use the same brush by BH Cosmetics, the 101, because I don't have any other fluffy brush by BH to be able to do this. So I'm just gonna use this. And it's applying the product just fine. So for bronzer, I'm using this Lorac oil-free wet dry powder in the shade WD5. It's pretty dark, so I'm just gonna use it as my bronzer today. And the brush I'm gonna be using today is the BH Cosmetics 108 brush. I like to use fluffy brushes when I do my bronzer because it just takes so little time to blend this with a bigger brush than a smaller one. Just gonna pinch the brush and put some of this bronzer on the side of my nose, just a little bit. For my blush, I'm using the Cabana Boy by The Balm, this blush right here, and I'm using the BH Cosmetics 109 dual fiber brush. I love using these dual fiber brushes for blush because I think it blends out the blushes really nicely, especially a blush like this because it's so dark. When you go in with a dual fiber brush, it just makes everything really pretty and it doesn't look so heavy. But don't go too crazy with a blush this dark because it's gonna look heavy. The brush is gonna do but so much to blend it out. For my highlight, I'm using the Mary Luminizer, and this is a fan brush also by BH Cosmetics. This brush does not have a number on it. It's just a fan brush that came in one of the bundle brushes that I had bought from them. And it does a great job dispersing the highlight. Pretty. Pretty. Yeah, when you use fan brushes, I like using fan brushes for highlights. They work really well. As eye primer, I'm using the Lorac Behind the Scenes eye primer. And by the way, I've already done my eyebrows even before I started this, so. What am I gonna, I'm gonna set it with the same RCMA powder and that same 111 brush that I used for under my eyes. I'm just gonna set this. Right, so for my crease, I'm using the 101 blending brush by BH Cosmetics. All the brushes are BH Cosmetics, so I'm gonna stop saying BH Cosmetics because I think you guys get it by now. The first shade I'm going to be using is from the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to go in with Burnt Orange, and I'm gonna place Burnt Orange on my crease. I'm also gonna apply Burnt Orange on my lower lash line. I'm gonna do it now before I move on. I'm gonna be using the 104 BH Cosmetics, and I just said I wasn't gonna say BH Cosmetics. The 104 brush to apply this under my lash line. I'm not gonna be very precise because this is just because I want to have a smoky effect under my lash line. So I'm not gonna be very precise. I'm gonna go in with something a little bit darker in a few minutes, so. For my brow bone highlight, I'm using the 112 brush, and I'm going to go to my Self-Made palette and grab the shade Buttery. And I'm gonna place that on my brow bone to give it a little lift. I believe this is the concealer brush, but I love using concealer brushes, especially if they're this small. Look, if that's small, because they have that little point to it, and it fits just perfectly right there under the brow. Okay, now I'm gonna use the 102 brush, and I'm going to pack on the shade Self-Made from the Self-Made palette. And I'm gonna pack this onto my eyelid. And I hope I made the right choice because, you guys, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I'm just going with whatever my gut tells me to go with. Okay, so next I'm going to go with hot chocolate, still using the Self-Made palette, and I'm using this other brush. It's a short blending brush. That's just so you can see how much shorter it is than the, what is this, the 101. This is the 101, and then this one doesn't have a number, but it's also by the same company. But it's a much denser and shorter brush, so I'm going to apply the shade Hot Chocolate on my outer V with this brush, just because I want to keep it on my outer V for the most part. So I'm just gonna pack it here, and if I need to blend, I'm gonna go back to that 101 blending brush, which is fluffier one and longer, and blend out whatever I need to blend out. But for the packing purpose, I'm using this one. And you can still blend out the shade with a shorter brush, but it's not going to disperse the eyeshadow as far out as a bigger, fluffier blending brush would. So let's say you want to keep the eyeshadow in one spot, then you would go with something shorter and denser. So for the bottom lash line, I'm still gonna use the shade Hot Chocolate, and now I'm using the brush 107, which is a little angled brush, and I'm going to use that to apply Hot Chocolate on my lower lash line. And I'm gonna stay close to the lash line, because like I said, I am going to darken this area right here, but I'm not gonna take it all the way in. I'm just gonna go halfway with this shade. And to blend that out, I'm using the pencil brush, the 105 pencil brush. And I'm just gonna buff that so it can blend with the, what was it, the burnt orange shade I used earlier. After cleaning my pencil brush, the 105 brush, I'm gonna go back to Self-Made, and I'm gonna apply Self-Made on the other half of my lower lash line. And I'm also going to blend that with burnt orange. Now I have to clean this brush yet again one more time, because I'm gonna keep using this pencil brush. Now I'm gonna use it for my inner corner highlights, which I'm going back to the Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm gonna use the shade Primavera. And I'm gonna place that right in my tear duct area. For my waterline, I'm using this Wet n Wild eyeliner in Calling Your Buff. Yes, Calling Your Buff. For eyeliner, I'm gonna try this Galactic Beauty Precise Eyeliner Marker, which I don't know, I don't really like using markers or anything like with this type of felt tip, because I just make a mess out of my eye when I use these. But I'm gonna give it a try. I usually like using the little brushes, like the one that I can't talk because I'm a frog. Like the one the NYC liquid eyeliner has. I prefer those little brushes. Oh God, I already don't feel good about this. But the reason I don't like using felt tips or marker type of things, because I feel that it pulls on my skin versus the little brush just glides on. So it's nothing against the actual product because I'm liking how dark it is. And I'm trying to make it work here. Alright. Alright, I managed. Let me do the other eye. So what I was saying about the felt tip and that it drags, like I feel, well, feel like it pulls on my skin as I'm moving along, and I don't like to hold my skin taut either. So yeah, this eye didn't come out wasn't as smooth as this one, as you can see. You can see right there. So when I was trying to do this, you see how it does that, and it's really light. I'm barely touching, so I kind of skipped and went up, and yeah, I just jacked it all up. So let me see how I can fix this now. All right, so I'm gonna try a Q-tip to see if I can get rid of that. It's working. Let me go back to the shade Self-Made and see if I can cover it a little bit more. I think that works. Alrighty. Alright, so for lashes, I'm using the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara. For my lips, I'm going to use the Ofra Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick in Americano. I like to trace my lips out like if I was using a lip pencil when I use a liquid lipstick. If I don't have a lip pencil for it. And after I trace it out, I just fill it in. These Ofra liquid lipsticks for me are one of my top favorites. They're really, really good. And I don't feel that they dry my lips too much. So this is the final look. I only used one brand makeup brushes, which are the BH Cosmetics brushes. I said that a million times throughout this video. So yeah, the BH Cosmetics brushes are actually good brushes. They're super affordable. So for the price, yes, they're good. Yeah, if you want to go high end for better brushes, then you do have to spend a little bit of more money. But if you're on a budget and you're looking for something affordable, the BH Cosmetics brushes are really good brushes. As you can see, I created this look just using their brushes, and I think I look as good as when I use my more high-end expensive brushes. So you choose and pick whatever is best for you. So yes, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on my other social media sites. Share, like, watch my previous videos, of course. And until next time, hugs and kisses. Bye.